Well, got to replace this air filter. As you can see, there's a bunch of bugs and crap in it. And once you get out to the front side of it, you'll definitely see a lot of dirt. Usually before I pull this thing out of here, I'll use my little vacuum first, which does a really good job of sucking these bugs out. So why do you need an air filter? Well, there's why. Even though I pre-suck that stuff out of there, there's still a whole crap load of stuff in there. And this filter looks really good, but then you start looking closer and it's just packed full of bugs and nastiness. So I always replace these every 6 months, no matter how many miles. And I've only actually put 5,000 miles, I think, on this car since last October. This is the second time I replaced this. And of course, if you look in there, there's the hot wire element for the mass airflow sensor right behind the air filter. So you definitely want to get that seated on there good, and you definitely don't want to not put it in there, because imagine that big butterfly going across the front of that. You wouldn't have very good engine management that way. I should probably pull that out if I had some of the solvent, the CRC solvent for the mass airflow sensor. I'd pull that out, soak it down with it, but I don't have any, and it's probably better just to leave it alone anyways. Well, there's the location of the blower resistor right there. That's inside the glove box. You got to fold the glove box down. There's a connector. You got a little button right there you got to push in, and then that pulls right off of there. There's two bolts on there. I can't remember. I think that takes a 7 or an 8 millimeter socket. I'll find out here in a second. Well, it turns out that's an 8 millimeter, so I'm going to use my 8 millimeter socket with my 1/4 inch ratchet. And it's going to be kind of hard to do this and show you at the same time. You basically just unscrew the two screws. So I'll be back in a second. Well, and there it is. It's got the typical bulge in the potting. That's probably the area that overheated and fried. Seemed to always do on the lower side. I had to change one of these on my mother's. Well, actually, I didn't change it. My boy changed it on my mother's Escape. And basically in the exact same spot, it had that bulge. Only in hers, she only had maybe speed 3 and 4, I guess it was. So it's even worse yet. But I'll get the new one and I'll pop her in there and we'll see what happens. There's the new one back in there. It's not bolted in yet. Basically, you just have this slot that it slides down into. So I'll get the screws in there and put the plug in. We'll see if it works. So there's the connector snap back in. Now, one thing to be careful about on these bolts, they are kind of basically a, you know, whatever you'd want to call it, a sheet metal screw, I guess, being screwed into plastic. So you just want to run them in basically till they touch and not much more, because I just kind of get the feeling it'd be awful easy to strip the threads in that plastic otherwise. So I'm going to go around the other side and we'll turn the key on and see how it works. Alright, let's see what happens here. Look at that. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but we've got airflow on number 1, number 2, 3, and 4. So we're good to go on that. About the only thing left on this, and I don't know if I'll get to it tonight, I might wait till tomorrow. Back behind that little cover there, it's right here, is where your cabin air filter is. So you've got a few of these, what looks like Phillips screws, but they're really not. They're kind of like a clip. You gotta kind of get up behind them, pry them up, and then pull this back this way and this up this way, and back in there will be, if your vehicle happen to have the option for the cabin air filter, that's where it'll be. If not, there'll be an empty hole to put the cabin air filter. I just checked the original window sticker on this one. It doesn't show it having a cabin air filter, but I want to put one in there. I've got a lot of trouble with allergies. I think it may be of a benefit to me. So I'm not sure I'll pull this off or not. This is a little bit harder than the older Escapes because they had like a panel you could just unbolt. And this one here, I guess you got to pull the windshield wipers off. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to try and get these first 4 clips out of there and see if I can't yank that back and shove that in there. So let's see how that works out. When you know it, I got this little cheap nylon pry bar set from Ollie's for all of $5.99. Had that thing for probably 6 months, saying, yeah, I'll use that for something. Well, I finally found something to use it for. I'll see if I can't set this thing on here. I got a little tripod, but I'll try to demonstrate how to pull these little clips out of here. If I can get everything set up right on there. Yeah, there's one right there. I don't know if you can see it very well or not. But basically, just shove this little center up.
From the Red Sox in August of 2009 for Alex Gonzalez.
Pull the whole thing up out of there. It's that simple.
Round of 2006. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a foul. Right at the plate. 1-1 on Christopher Negron. 75 games at AAA Louisville. He was hitting .269. Pirates AAA affiliate, the Indianapolis Indians season, will be coming to an end on Monday.
Okay, now I wonder if I can get this pulled up out of here.
Negron showed bunt.
Alright, no problem.
The Pirates will have some more players join the team on Tuesday. Neil Huntington said last Sunday that he
This little tin cover is hooked on there somehow. I'm not sure how. I've never done this before on this car. You can see the hook.
Third strikeout for Volquez, 2 down in the 5th. The ball really kicked down and in on him.
I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me try and get that on that general area.
Couldn't do it. Here's Schumacher in 2000, nobody on.
This little tin plate right here, and right underneath in there is where that cabin air filter goes. Mine doesn't have one in it, but it will now.
Here's the 0-1. Missed away. The changeup has been a pretty good pitch so far for Volquez. He's missed it upstairs with a few of them, but
it says top right there.
It doesn't seem to matter. He's been throwing enough good ones, locating them to work almost finished. 1-1 offering. Fastball misses high and away, not close. 2-1. From Schumacher. And now Volquez is going to take a little bit of time. Stepped off the rubber. Regroup. And that last pitch was not close. Here's the 2-1.
Basically, it's got a little spot that it fits down into.
Volquez kind of shrugs his shoulders. It looks skyward and now swipes at the dirt in front of the pitching rubber. Looks back down at his battery mate with a sign. Russell Martin, here's the wind in the 3-1 pitch.
It's hard to get it rearranged in there just right. That's all there is to it.
Second base runner for the Reds. First was
this little lid back on. Put the clips on, be good to go.
Now here's Zach Kozar. Kozar bounced to short, leading off the 3rd inning.
Clips need a little bit of manipulation with a screwdriver or some sort of pointed object.
Here's the pitch. Strike call.
Just like that.
No 1-1 on Kozart. Schumacher leads off the first. Ike Davis holds him on. Volquez sets. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball off the end of the bat. And off the mound, Volquez tosses to first for the out. He has been pitching brilliant baseball tonight. Through 4.5, it's the Reds nothing, Pirates nothing. A great way to enjoy Sunday baseball at PNC Park is with a Coca-Cola fan pack. Fans get a lower outfield box ticket, fountain drink, hot dog, and soft pretzel for one low price. This special offer is good for every Sunday Pirates home game all season long. Come out and enjoy the thrill of Bucko baseball with a Coca-Cola fan pack. The package starts as low as $35 in advance for an outfield box ticket, soft drink, hot dog, and pretzel. Get your tickets now at pirates.com/fanpack.
Velazzi's Pittsburgh, voted Pittsburgh's best Italian restaurant, where all the big players dine. Visit our bar before or after the game for craft cocktails.
There you go, that's it.
Italian wine and beer program.
So we got the cabin air filter done as well.
Our new small plate menu and Pittsburgh's
So
original
that's pretty much all the
We welcome you to come in
maintenance I'm going to do on this thing for now.
friendly staff to transport
One thing I need to do tomorrow, I need to stop at the Ford dealership.
off Market Square.
They were wanting to
Downtown.
have me stop by anyways with my Mustang, so they, of course I'm sure they'll be doing some sort of promotional thing with it. They'll be telling everybody how great it is. But I need to get some Mercon LV for the automatic transmission in this thing. I'm at 29,000 miles, it's time to change it. And these transmissions have all kinds of problems, so you definitely want to be changing that transmission fluid on a regular basis. Mine is already turning like a purplish color, which I guess is normal. I don't know. But I definitely, every once in a while, have the weird shifting problem that everybody else in the world seems to have that Ford says nobody has. So I'm going to get some fresh transmission fluid in there. If I do that, maybe I'll show the procedure on that. You want to get about 10 quarts, and you only lose about 3/4 of the time when you pull the plug. And the filter's internal, so you don't do that. And basically put 3 quarts in, go for a drive, come back, dump out to three quarts, put 3 quarts in. You do that till you use all 10 quarts and you're full. And that's basically the other way that you can really flush these transmissions. So I might even get 15 or 20 quarts just to make absolutely certain I got all fresh fluid in there. But other than that, I'm pretty much done now, so that'll be it. Well, just one last note here. I peeled back that area on the blower resistor. This one here is the one that came out of mine. This is the one that came out of my mother's Ford Escape. And you can see, whether that's corrosion or just overheated or whatever, but basically that little thin film trace, that resistive trace, just basically disappeared on both of them, and that's pretty much what happens. I just noticed there's a spot right there too. I gotta peel that back too, but that's what happens with these things. It's kind of funny, they're both in the exact same corner. I don't know whether they get moisture there, or maybe in that corner the potting maybe isn't quite as good and it breaches it, or what happens. But I don't know, I just saw that, thought I'd show that.